Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. We are in the middle of a reflection study on willingness. Again, I always do these for me and hope it'll benefit someone else. I definitely needed to get my mindset back in line with being willing. And I chose to use for today, which is the daily thought book for Overeaters Anonymous. It doesn't matter if you're a compulsive overeater, doesn't matter like what it is you struggle, everybody has a backstory. I happen to use this one. In the index, it had 13 days for willingness. Today is day 12. If you just joined us, you are right on time. You can go back and view any of the videos that you want. This reading for today is actually from July 19th, page 201. And I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm a one and done girl. I just learn about this as I'm doing the video with you. Yeah, if you're wondering, Jules, is that like your new uniform? You always have a white shirt on. Okay. What it is yes, I get dressed. Yes, I go to church. I do all the things. But when I get outside with the animals, I just throw on my husband's old shirts because I know I'm going to get dirty and sweaty. And that was certainly the case today. And I was thrilled to do it because that physical labor of just lifting hundreds of pounds, which we absolutely do, that is like no exaggeration at all, is very empowering. And I'm so grateful to care for my animals, to even have the means to have animals. And yeah, I'm in a white tee because it was a labor intensive day for sure. Okay, let's get to it. It says, one doesn't discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. And, you know, it may be a literal consent or the action itself suggests that one is consented to do it. But yeah, when I was a little girl, we used to take our boat to Catalina, and that's like an hour by boat, right? A power boat. But if you're in a sailboat, it could be 5, 6, 7, 10 hours, depending on what the wind is. And yes, on a very clear, optimal day, you can kind of see the outline of both the shoreline for Los Angeles as well as the island of Catalina. But at some point, you're just in this vast ocean and you're just trusting that the compass is guiding you to where you need to go. And so, yeah, I get that idea of the consent that you've literally left where you were for a new destination. And it's a big commitment. That's by Andre Guide, Gide. So it says, Overeaters Anonymous is a new way of life. And again, this may not be your story, but whatever your support group is, whatever you've started to look into, you know, in that virtual realm of social media, you know, whether it's raw vegan, you know, whatever your gig is. So it says Overeaters Anonymous is a new way of life. Nothing in this program has much relationship to anything I have known before. And that was certainly true when I got into vegan and raw vegan. It was like, wait, what, huh? I remember the first reset with Tanny Roan. She doesn't currently have raw resets, but the first one I did, like all the information was just coming at me a mile a minute. And it was so foreign to me. I didn't know the terminology. I didn't know what they were talking about. I was just there on hope, you know, and faith. And I totally get that. And same thing, sure, the 12-step program, like what steps, the sponsors, what am I supposed to do? What do you mean there's no diet? What do you mean they don't hand you a step-by-step? You know, it was very hard. So it says, there are steps to take and meetings to attend. Recovery means going to any lengths to stay abstinent. So again, to abstain from sex, to abstain from gambling, to abstain from arguing or gossiping or all those things, you know, lying, whatever it is that you're struggling with. It means being willing to give up for today. And I've said it again and again in the 12-step program. It's only promised a 24-hour respite from whatever ails you. And that is only promised on actually working the program. So being willing to give up for today any or all of the comfortable and familiar old ways that may interfere with abstinence. And of course, in this situation, it may mean including cooking, restaurants, friends, meals for my family, flagging country, like whatever it takes to get over whatever it is you're struggling with, you might have to go to any lengths. And I really do appreciate that. You know, it is having a boundary. Every time I falter in my program, it's because several times in a row, a family member has said, hey, can you get this for me? Or can you prepare this for me? Or is there any way we could? It starts to break me down. And if I'm not checking in, if I'm not working my program, if I'm not writing my food, if I'm not doing all my things, I falter. That's straight up. So yeah, I get it. I've had to ask my husband, can you keep those things out of the house? I mean, yes, it's your cupboard, but sadly, in, you know, a moment of distress, I might venture into your cupboard, you know. It says, I found it wasn't necessary to give up these things, but I had to be willing. Here's that willingness. Ding, 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 ding. So some of these things you don't have to give up, but you have to be willing to if that's what it takes. And it says willingness is the key. Without abstinence, I have nothing except a killing progressive disease. And, you know, that is true when it comes to obesity. I can pretend that I'm still hot. And, you know, I mean, I just happen to be hot. But padded organs are padded organs. And they will take me down over time. You know, I've got to get this weight off my body. But blessed in the meantime. Right? Okay. So I totally get that. You know, but it's the same thing. Like, we can pretend that misspending money that would be better given to the household or people in need won't add up over time. It will. We can pretend that misspending our money through the gambling or whatever it is won't get us at some point, but it will. That the lying, you know, when people lie chronically, they can't even remember who did they tell, what did they say. I mean, you're going to trip up, you know, it's inevitable. And for me, I've said a million times that every sin, every potential sin for me is regarding the abuse of food. That is just straight up. I've proven it so many times. So yeah, without abstinence, I have nothing except a killing progressive disease. And I've even said, like, in AA, because they ain't playing in the original 12-step program, they have said so many times, work the program or die. It's like, you did just say that out loud, right? Okay, and then it says, for today, I am willing to put, fill in the blank, abstinence first. That means talking to anyone who is able to help me, asking questions even though they may make me appear foolish, making phone calls even though I may bother someone, like you're trying to save your life, right? I mean, let's think of a situation where suddenly someone's injured or somebody's sick in your household and you don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. Well, ideally 911 on the injury, calling a doctor on, you know, the illness or whatever. But people do. They immediately reach out. Is anyone familiar with? Does anyone have a resource for? You know, I see that all the time. Like, going to any lengths to fix it. Well, what about your health? Are you willing to go to any lengths? And by you, I mean me, people. You know that. So am I willing to bother someone with that phone call? Am I willing to ask that question again and again, even if a person says, oh my gosh, did you slip a brain cell, Juliana? I have told you this 10 times. Well, it's interesting. Depending on where you are in your mindset, you may not be able to hear, you know, literally hear. I've had my husband say, Juliana, I just told you, like, whatever it was, but I couldn't hear it, like, not literally. Of course, my ears work, but I couldn't tune in that moment. And it has to be okay to ask again, you know? As a teacher, I try so hard not to say to my students, I just said that. I just told you the directions. I just like, oh, you didn't get it? Okay, yeah, let me repeat it. That is grace. And to stop all the students from saying, she just told you that. Oh my gosh, right? I so get it. Okay, clean read, people. Such an important one. One doesn't discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. Entree Guide, G-I-D-E. OA is a new way of life. Nothing in this program has much relationship to anything I have known before. There are steps to take and meetings to attend. Recovery means going to any lengths to stay abstinent. It means being willing to give up for today any or all of the comfortable and familiar old ways that may interfere with abstinence, including cooking, restaurants, friends, meals for my family, flagging country. I found it wasn't necessary to give up these things, but I had to be willing. Willingness is the key. Without abstinence, I have nothing except a killing, progressive disease. For today, I am willing to put abstinence first. That means talking to anyone who's able to help me, asking questions even though they may make me appear foolish, making phone calls even though I may bother someone. Note to self, note to self. All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you, because I'm willing. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.